Okay, we will be looking at a function called fgets. Okay, this is highly used if you like to read the file line by line. Okay, line by line. If you want to read the file line by line, this function is very useful. Okay, so the information you can get information from this, from man pages, man fgets. Here it has everything. Here charge pointer string, size of the string, and the stream. Basically you pass the file stream to this function and tell what is the maximum size that you would like to read. We always keep a big amount because we really don't know how big each line is, right? And then the buffer, we usually call this as a buffer. Reading stops when a new line character is found. That means whenever it finds a new line, it stops. Oops, let me do it again. Something happened. Reading stops when a new line is found in the file or end of file or error. Okay, if any characters are read here and there is no error, a null character is appended to the string. Okay, that's all it is. So it requires a, so we know it reads line by line, right? So it requires a buffer to be sent, a pointer to the buffer. It could be a big buffer. Okay, could be a big buffer, and let's pretend that this buffer is 1024. As always, whenever you send an array, you always have to send the size. So that's why fgets receives a pointer. In this case, this is the buffer, and it requires the size. We always send a little big size for our application, and the file pointer. If you send the file pointer is nothing but file, all uppercase. File pointer, you have to open that file, right? So when you do that, let's say provision, we are reading that line by line, and in this case, let's say the first line is read, it goes into this buffer, this entire line, A B A space A B C, it goes on, reads the entire file, and a null character is appended. Okay, go back and read it. If any characters are read and there is no error, a null character is appended to the string. So this buffer, when it completes reading a line, this buffer gets a null terminator. Okay, it's automatically done by this function for us. So we have a buffer. We read a line from this file into our buffer. Okay, so our buffer has that big line of data for us. Okay, this is one line from the file. So this has This is the buffer. And we have okay, let's leave it at that. Okay, in this video just talks about fgets. What it does, it reads a line by line, copies into the buffer, and we must pass this buffer. Okay, we must create it. We create this buffer, remember that. It's not automatically created for you. We create this buffer. It's nothing, buffer is nothing but an array. And we send the size also. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the same function. Okay, now we do open, we closed it, right? So we open it again. All right, we do the same thing again. All right, so we need to create a buffer of size 1024. Always better to put zeros. That is basically null. We are putting a null. fgets buffer 1024 is the size, and fp the file pointer. So we got into the buffer. Let's print it. Very simple, right? Print 1024 buffer. So but we are only reading only one line, right? We are only reading one line, so we need to do in a loop. How would you do it in a loop? So we have to say while read that. When do we stop it? When do we stop reading it? When fgets is not equal to end of file, right? Is not end of file. Let's go and check it out again. fgets stops when a new line is found or end of file or error. Upon successful completion, fgets returns a pointer to the string. If end of file occurs before any characters are read, they return null. You see that? They return null. So you need to check when you read it, you need to check if it's not null. Okay, that's what we did. Here say end of file, but you can also do not null. Right? So we keep reading it until it's not null. As soon as it's null, we return. We exit out of it. Okay? Let's try this out. Oh, we didn't close it. Remember, we always have to close. we have some error. We always love to have errors. Okay. Oh, that's what it says. Okay, good. Okay, no error. It read each and every line. You see that? Read every line for us. Why do the space here? Right? Okay. One additional thing that fgets does is it also copies the end of line into it, and then the null terminator. Okay, that's what it does. Into buffer, including the end of line, and then appends the null terminator. So if you read, let's say you're reading the file line by line, this is the entire line. So last two characters is, one is the end of line from the file and this null terminator. That is why here, if you go to the printf, you don't have to put end of line here. If you, because the buffer already has end of line. Buffer already has end of line character. Okay. So that's all about fgets. Okay.